back here at my mountain for another dream home update. Today we are going to be showing you for the very first time what my house is going to look like in 3D. And don't forget, we're going to be giving away $1,000 to the best comment on this video. So make sure you leave a comment on your favorite part of the house. And let me tell you, the situation has changed pretty dramatically for a lot of reasons since I bought this land 6 months ago. For one, a developer's bought the rest of this mountain for $8.5 million. And he also owns all of the mountain around it as well that he spent millions on. So he's been trying to buy me out because I'm pretty much the only piece he doesn't own. And let me tell you, if I actually sold to him, it would be a 7-figure profit because this land is that valuable to him. But nonetheless, I'm not selling, so it doesn't matter. So him and I are working together on his development and my land to make sure we can create a win-win for each other. The second thing that's happened is that prices out here in MacDonald Highlands have exploded. If you remember from the first video, my company, Forever Home Realty, sold the most expensive house in there last year. And we sold it for a little over $11 million. And after a couple of months, somebody offered our buyer $15 million, which he turned down. And on top of that, there's a new home in there that is getting listed for $28 million. And if you thought the house prices were crazy, the lots are even crazier. If you look behind me, they are digging out this mountain right above those homes, and they have one 2-acre parcel for $8 million. And I bought my 2 acres right here for $620,000, and honestly, I think this is a better piece of land. And the last big change has been my income. In the last 6 months since buying this property, my income has grown far bigger than I thought it would be. My social media continues to grow and more opportunities are available to me. So I can afford to build the house that I truly want, but also I don't want to have any regrets down the road. I know that if this house was built 2 years from now and my income was at some crazy place I can't even imagine at this point, I'd be really mad I didn't do certain things because I was trying to be cheap or on a budget. So we're going all out on this house. And the more I've thought about it, the more it makes sense to build one of the best, if not the best house in Vegas. Mainly because these houses are selling for so much, and if that lot up there is selling for $8 million, it would be a disservice not to build something so extreme on this piece of land. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you guys the renderings of what it's gonna look like, and I'm gonna reveal at the end of the video how much it's gonna cost and what I think it's gonna be worth. But before you do that, make sure you subscribe so I can afford this house. All right, that was pretty epic, right? All of that has taken us 4 months of going back and forth with our architect, Hugo Tremblay. And it's crazy that it all started out with him just sketching it on a white sheet of paper. And then as he built it in the computer program, we had to constantly adjust a lot of things in order for us to save money. If you actually look at the way the house is built, we're actually not carving out that much of the mountain. We've built it so it's completely around the mountain. And because of that, we had to make it 3 stories. So right now, I would be standing on the main floor of the house. And if you look down, you'll see that the mountain starts to go down pretty steep. So what we're gonna have there is our basement. And the basement's gonna be pretty sick because it's gonna have a very big bar, it's gonna be a game room, kind of like a man cave type deal, but it's also gonna have a bowling alley. And with the way that this mountain is shaped, the bowling alley actually was pretty cost effective to put in. Now you might be wondering, how big is this house gonna actually be? Well, originally I wanted to keep it at 7,500 square feet, but with the way that it's set up now, it's a little over 11,000. And that's just this main house. We've got over 7 bedrooms in it, and honestly, I don't even know how many bathrooms. Now the main house is gonna be really epic, and in another video, I'm gonna show you guys the inside of the 3D of what all this cool stuff looks like with the bowling alley, the bedrooms, and just these beautiful views that we're gonna have. But let's talk about the next building over, which is our guest house. So I'm standing where the guest house will be. Now, as far as specs go, it's gonna be almost 1,400 square feet, 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's gonna have a beautiful full-size kitchen, sliders that open up to the strip, a really nice deck, as well as its own little garden / courtyard area and a garage. In reality, if I were to subdivide this home off by itself, with this view, this area, and everything that it has, it's probably worth over $1 million.
$1 million.
And that's exactly why the developer wants my land so much, because he knows he can build 5 multi-million-dollar homes on this while I'm only just building 1. So right here where I'm standing is going to be either the front or the backyard. It doesn't really matter what you want to call it. We're gonna have this really big driveway over there, and I'm gonna build a park right behind me. Now, in order for me to build this park, I'm gonna have to build a pretty big retaining wall so that I can have the height I want to overlook this golf course. But I'm really excited about building it because I love taking my kids to the park. I love watching them run around in grass. So in my opinion, this is the most exciting part of the property. Right here where I'm standing is going to be the full court indoor basketball court. And on top of that, we're gonna have a full-size gym, a sauna, a steam room, massage area, barbershop. You guys know I need a barbershop, right? As well as a place to watch the basketball games and chill. It's gonna be really epic. And one thing I always thought about when it came to building an indoor basketball court was, why do I never see anybody with a full court? Well, as we were building this house, I actually got the answer. An auxiliary building like this can only be 10% of the total land space. Now this lot's over 80,000 square feet. So that means this building at its absolute max could be around 8,000 square feet. Well, a full court basketball court is gonna be at least 5,000 square feet once you account for all the space and everything else. But on top of that, I also have the gym and all that other stuff. So all in all, this building itself is gonna be at the absolute max, around 8,000 square feet. And I'm only able to do that because the lot is so big, and that's why other people, especially MacDonald Highlands, can't do it, because their lots are much smaller. But the other cool thing is, you might have noticed on the rendering that we've got a rooftop tennis court on top of the basketball court. Now, I asked you guys in the previous video whether I should do turf or a tennis court, and the majority of you wanted turf. You said it was much more functional and we were gonna be able to do different activities. And instead of deciding between having just one or the other, I figured out how I could do both. I was able to fit a huge turf field over here, which is gonna be about 4,000 square feet. And the best part is, I'll be able to walk directly into the gym from this lower level. So if we're working out, we'll be able to come out here and do sprints or push sleds and do all types of cool stuff. And we still get the benefit of enjoying the turf and playing soccer or football or even playing catch. Now, even though I'm really excited to have the tennis court and the turf, one of the hardest parts of this build was figuring out where's the driveway gonna be. Originally, we thought it was gonna be on that side of the mountain, and we were gonna have to do a bunch of switchbacks, and pretty much that whole other side was gonna be unusable. But Hugo, our architect, figured out that we could actually start the driveway right there and circle all the way around the mountain, and it would take us to the top. And it was a brilliant idea because it makes the turn so much easier. And then on top of that, as you go up, you get this strip view and this really majestic grand driveway. And if my friends are just coming to play basketball or work out with me, they can just park down here. They don't need to go all the way up to the main house. So it has a lot of different purposes. Now, the last part of the home, which you may have seen from the renderings already that we haven't discussed, is the pool. Right behind me would be where the infinity pool is, and it's gonna be almost 80 feet long. And even though that pool's gonna be epic and it's overlooking the strip and it's got this huge waterfall, it also has a cool feature that the dining room is on top of the pool. So I'm really excited to eat dinner and then have this vibe of just water around you. So the pool's gonna be absolutely crazy, as well as the deck that surrounds the pool. We've got the jacuzzi on the deck with a barbecue, we've got sitting areas, and it's just really big, and people are able to just walk inside and outside of the main living room and overlook everything. So this pool area is where I imagine that the majority of time is gonna be spent, especially when we have people over. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, I felt like it was going to be the best house in Las Vegas, and I still stand behind that, even though
obviously I'm biased.
Now, I'm sure there are gonna be houses that are much more valuable than it, houses that are a lot bigger than it, but for me, regardless of price, I know that I wouldn't pick any other house than the one that I am building, because I'm building it to everything that I personally want. Now, I said at the beginning of this video, I would tell you what I think it's gonna cost me to build this and what I think it's gonna be worth when it's done. Now, as far as what it will cost, my builder, Mike Hutchins, who is the best builder in town, hands down, absolutely love the guy, thinks I'm gonna spend around $5 million to build this. That could easily change as we go through the process. Material costs are constantly changing. I'm sure I'll probably change other things as we go along. The types of materials and finishes that we choose are gonna play a huge role, but hopefully we can keep this to $5 million. Now, even though that's a ton of money, if we are able to keep it to that budget, it's gonna be an absolute steal because I believe this home is gonna be worth at least $15 million. Now, I know that value might seem biased, but based on what these MacDonald Highlands homes are selling for, based on what I know this developer is gonna sell the homes around me for, and based on what's available in Las Vegas and how the market is going, I think it's pretty accurate. And on top of that, there are other possibilities at play right now. The developer is trying to incorporate all of this into MacDonald Highlands, which then we would become comps for. But even if that doesn't happen, and I choose to remain outside of all the HOAs and have my own mountain with no HOAs, no rules, I think that might even be more valuable. Having this type of house and being around all of these communities, yet not being in them and having to pay their fees or follow their rules, is pretty valuable to the right buyer. In all actuality, it's probably the only home not in an HOA in this area. So honestly, I'm not even concerned if I join an HOA or not. But anyways, I will continue to update you guys on what happens with this development. I'll show you guys the 3D renderings inside, but all you gotta do to see those is make sure you are subscribed to this channel. And don't forget, we're gonna be giving away $1,000 to the best comment on this video. So make sure you leave a comment on your favorite part of the house. And I'll catch you guys on the next update.